We're still working on the county and us trying to figure out exactly how many were done.
Does this have a calculator?
Yeah, it comes up to the 33,000 or whatever.
It was approximately 38,000.
Okay.
Okay?
30,
Yeah, approximately 38,000. That was reported to us that we had come in.
and that's in those, I think it was quarterly statements to the board or something like that, or monthly statements.
It was monthly statements, correct.
And I noticed that it was like January, February, March.
Right.
Here's how many dollars we
Right.
got each of
Right.
those months. So the math was fairly simple.
Right. After looking into it, I figured out what happened to us in 2005. The money transferred out. The money wasn't there. The 54,000 technically should have been carried over. Wasn't there to carry over. The 2005 impact fees, after looking at the bank statements, Susie and I went through what the fine-tooth comb. And what it looked like is that in September, when we said transfer the $35,000 back out of the impact fees into the general fund, it wasn't there. What she did is she transferred out of the money market, the general fund, into the impact fees, added $1,600 that she'd already taken, and transferred back $35,000. So I'm basing our funds off of having approximately $70,000 in the bank, and we have $1,600 more than what I thought. And if you guys have looked at those, it was on a regular basis. We just didn't realize it was happening. When you have complete and utter trust in somebody, okay, and you're getting clean audits and everything looked good, never thought about it. In my 20 years of going to board meetings, we never asked to see an original bank statement.
Did you get a clean audit 2004, 2005?
Which I met with the auditor on.
Yeah, that's it. Who said?
That was Tim Cusack.
And he said.
We figured out how we got a clean audit. Audits are basically samplings of different things. And then if we're meeting the government criteria for accounting. 2000, previous to 2005, where we had the impact fees, I thought we were clean and green. You know, we had clean audits, everything was good. What I didn't realize is what Tim and I had figured out is that she figured out a way to get money out. Double posting bills, coding things differently. And the auditor, without doing a physical inventory by himself, would have never realized it. And when you look at our inventory that he would compare to the expenditures, it looked right. So he reported it as a good audit. He also didn't know about the volunteer account.
Was it aware of the impact fee?
Yes, yes. But you have to understand, in 2005 would be the first year that he had to do an audit on the impact fee. That's where the problem started. I started late August, early September. I started into 2007's budget. You know, I get my first assessed valuation sheet, and I do a preliminary budget to give to the board in September. That this is where we're going to be on our funds. This is projected, you know, how it goes.
That's on the calendar.
Yeah. Things weren't adding up when I started. It just I was under budget, which surprised me because we had an ISO reevaluation in 2006, which is like having an IRS audit and inviting your friends and neighbors to. And we knew, now remember I told you no matter what I said, we were going to say no. Now I had to go back to the board and say we've got an ISO reevaluation to get 3 stations recognized, see if we can lower our ISO rating. We have a lot of things to do. We're going to have to spend about $50,000 to buy loose equipment, make up for things. And I devoted everything and every resource from February on into that ISO deal. I mean, we tore into it. I had guys at the fire station. I ended up paying 3 of my volunteers, and we were on it basically 18 hours a day between the trainings, the paperwork. It was way more involved than I thought it was going to be. But when you have to have dump times on every piece of equipment, fill times on every piece of equipment, and every combination. So if you got 5 different fill sites, and if you use a different engine on each one, you have to have the fill times. And we created a Bible, an ISO Bible that thick, and bought the loose equipment off of their list that we were short. What we've done inadvertently is you buy a new truck for $150,000. That truck needs approximately another $150,000 worth of equipment on it. And what we had done is we bought some equipment and then taken some equipment from elsewhere and kind of made it.
Sounds like a shell game.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we had enough equipment on this truck and enough equipment on this truck, and when you put the 2 trucks together, we had all the equipment in the world. Which, in our department, if you have a fire, everything goes. So when they got there, we had everything we needed. But ISO doesn't like that. ISO wants every piece of equipment on every truck, and specified piece of equipment. So I made Debbie keep a separate accounting of what we're spending on ISO. Okay, so it was coded in right.